सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सत्यं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। Celebrations to all. Welcome to this Foundation Vedanta course. Those of you who are here and those of you who are online. So, how many of you are new to Chinmaya mission? Anybody? And has anybody already done the Foundation Vedanta course? So, as we know,
foundation is a very important aspect when any building is built. A strong foundation, deep foundation, helps to rise higher and higher. So Puja Gurudev had made this course. The whole content is made by Puja Gurudev. It was called correspondence course earlier. That has got modified now and become the foundation without course. So I'll begin with one description of this modern life, and then you have to tell me what you make out of it. So modern life, our communication is wireless, our business is cashless, our telephone is cordless, our cooking is fireless, our youth are jobless, our religion is creedless, our food, very important, fatless, our education valueless, our faith godless. It's a fashion to say I don't believe in God, I am an atheist, I am a non-believer. Some believe it genuinely and say it, some say it just like that. Our labor effortless chalta hai. Conduct sometimes worthless. Cricket consistency less. Relationships loveless. Attitude careless. Feelings heartless. Politics shameless. So what is the result? Folly is countless, arguments baseless, commitment aimless, poor are voiceless, life meaningless, and existence useless. What do we make of this? Everything in life has become less. We say advancement, but we are going backwards. Right. Futile existence. Purpose is missing. So one thing is you have the freedom to disagree also. You may say no, this is not correct at all. That is your choice. In anything from now till the course ends, any aspect you are welcome to disagree. That is your freedom. So this, if you see, the first slide has a lot of development that has happened. Cordless, wireless, cashless, all that is a development. So externally a lot of development has happened, there's no doubt. We have much more comforts and conveniences than our parents, grandparents. So life in that sense, the standard of living has increased. But what about the standard of life? What is the difference? Is there any difference between standard of living and standard of life? Or they are just terms? Major difference. Standard of living is what externally we have created. Materialistic things, comforts, conveniences, equipments, many things. But standard of life is the values, vision, attitude. That has to match. So if you ask nowadays to people, how is life? How are you? What responses will you get? So so. चल रहा है. Going on. One 12-year-old boy is putting on a WhatsApp group, life sucks. At 12 years, what does he even know about life so much? But at 12 years, that boy puts all that, the interaction happening between his age group of children. So sometimes the answers are these, that going on, pulling on, stressed out, fatigued, boring, tired, exhausted. It's become very common. One may say, just for the sake of saying, how are you? Fine. That also one will say with a sulking face. Fine. Is it not a paradox? Outside, so many things have improved for us, but inside the mind is very dull. Technology is there, so many things are at our fingertips now. We don't have to struggle. But still, the mind has become so much more, we can say, sad, stressed, tired, exhausted. So, what do you see here? Part of the ship is under the water. Okay, that is true. What else? Anything that we can learn out of this? Otherwise, almost the same as the upper part. Yeah. So this is called the keel. In a boat, the lower portion is called the keel, and the top portion, the rod which will be there, on which the sail is tied, that is called as the mast. Sometimes the mast is long, or sometimes it is in proportion. But this represents a very important principle. What is that principle? Our standard of living and our standard of life. In this boat of life, if we have to go across the ocean of samsara in this boat of life, then our standard of living is the top mast and standard of life is the keel. When the boat is in water, the standard of living, so you can see the mast, but the keel is not visible. But the keel is equally important, because if it is not there, there will be a problem. The boat will topple. So Gurudev always said, the higher the standard of living, deeper must be the standard of life. Because from heights when we fall, the pain is terrible. And why will we fall from the heights? Because that standard of living is not strong. A standard of life is not strong. The values, the vision, the attitude, one is not anchored in the right vision, right values, right attitudes. And we see so many examples of that. People who reach great heights and from there fall. So higher we rise in life, just like a building. If the foundation is not deep enough, you cannot construct high. It has to have the depth to withhold the pressures that come when we rise to the top. So these things are very, very important aspects of life. That what is my standard of life? How strong are my value systems? What is my attitude? How do I face my life? Life will bring so many challenges. Am I ready to face all those? There will be stress, the stressful situations. There will be pressure. That is the reason why I need anchoring in the values, in the vision, and in the attitude, which will bring strength to the mind. That is the standard of living, a standard of life. Comforts, conveniences make our life comfortable, but the standard of life makes the mind strong. And when that mind is strong, even the most challenging circumstance outside is we can deal with it in a balanced way. And when the mind is weak, most ordinary situation one will break down. Hence, this is a very important aspect. How deep is my standard of life? And to make my standard of life deep, as I said, vision, values, and attitude. For all the three, I need knowledge. To have the right vision, right values, right attitude, knowledge is very, very crucial. This is the subjective knowledge, the knowledge about my own self. To a certain extent, yes, knowledge about things outside also, but the subjective knowledge, the knowledge about my own mind, my own temperament, what my own personality. So in management, they have two approaches. One is called outside in approach, where we change things outside, have a better cabin, have better technology, have better facilities, a secretary, perks, amenities, whatever required to assist that person to perform to the best, to reach the goals, targets. Necessary, no doubt. But that alone is not enough. The inside out approach is if you motivate that person, if that person feels inspired by the vision, person feels inspired by what you are asking that person to achieve, then the person will go the extra mile to achieve it. Balance has to be there in both. Many places that doesn't happen. Example, some of the teachers are expected to mold the minds of our future in the country. But what they are paid sometimes is so less, they're not motivated at all. Inside they may have motivation, but externally they are not paid enough. How will it work? And there are some who are externally paid but internally not at all inspired to do the work. So either ways it will not work. Both ways one has to balance it out. And so the standard of living and the standard of life both must balance. In our country, that is what had happened. Our standard of living, if you see in the past, there is not a single tribe or a group in Asia which has not invaded us as a country. So many people came, invaded us, looted us, and went away. Because the wealth here was so much in abundance. There is one world economist called Angus Madison. He studied the growth of economies in the two millenniums, how the economies in the world have grown. And he said till 18th century, 33.3% of the GDP of the whole world was controlled by India. The competition was always between India and China. They will overtake each other all the time. If India comes to 33, China will be 35. India comes to 36, China may be 34. The competition keeps going between both of them only. It's after the Industrial Revolution that the whole dynamics changed. And the recent research which is done is The amount of wealth that was drained just by the British, forget everybody else, to fund their own industrialization in many other parts of the world, the amount of wealth that was drained from India is in trillions of dollars. I think $15 trillion. Some they have pegged that amount at that number, 15,000 trillion dollars, something. I don't remember the exact number, but it's some $1 trillion it is. So we've drained our wealth was drained from here to fund the industrialization in the countries abroad. And in last 200 years, the whole tide has turned. So what is important is to understand that how did Indians rise to this level? In every field, there was such greatness in our country. Art, literature, dance, music, wherever, science. Whenever we think of science, we always think of the West. But the amount of scientific discoveries people have done in India, that has all been removed from our system. We consciously have been made to feel that we are inferior. Surya Siddhanta, Aryabhatta wrote, Varahamira, Baudhayana, such great. I'm not talking about mythology, I'm talking about astronomers who are there in our country, who have done such fantastic discoveries. When we talk about sea travel, whom do we remember? Vasco da Gama, full stop. As though he started sea travel in the world. Indians used to export spices to the Middle East, to the Southeast Asia, and where not? The biggest Hindu temple in the world is where? Cambodia, Angkor Wat temple. Who built that temple? A South Indian king went there and built that temple. And we have not gone there to destroy the cultures of those people. The native cultures have retained as they are. And they felt inspired. Whoever wanted, they took up our culture. Our people have been exploring the whole world, going, traveling wherever. So the idea is that how did Indians rise to that glory? Because their standard of living was strong. Our standard of life was strong. In the Gurukul system, right from the childhood, mind empowering knowledge was given. Not just information about the secular subjects. So that knowledge is very, very crucial. That what is that which empowers my mind? Then I can rise to any heights. And the standards that the Indians had was so high. No compromise attitude. Brilliance, if you see in the depth of art, literature, dance, music, temples, everywhere, you see the amount of depth and the detailing is amazing. Because they did not compromise. That strength they had, not to compromise and keep the standards high. So that is the standard of life that one values. One doesn't think small. The vision is high. And one aims to keep going. And hence it is very important when somebody asks what is life, what would you say? What is life? That's the way to live life, yeah. Journey, yes. Balance, again a way to live life. Like what is life meaning? What constitutes life? Like what is a pot if we ask? Then we say okay it is made up of mud, it is round in shape like that. So what is life? What constitutes?
Something from what you think and act.
Sum total of what we think and act. So Gurudev used to say that life is a series of experiences. Challenging many times. But in general, otherwise it's a series of experiences. One by one experiences come to us in life. And those experiences we cannot avoid. Can anybody escape from experiences in life? Not possible. All of us have to live our life. Can we live somebody else's life? Not possible. I have to live my own life. Each individual is unique. Each individual has their own set of experiences, their own set of vision, values, attitudes. We may get inspired by others. We cannot imitate. Exactly, it will not happen the same way. Even if we try to imitate, because our set of thinking, values, vision, everything is different. So life is a series of experiences. One by one, these experiences they come, and as human beings, we have a choice. Do you believe we have a choice? Sure. You came to this course by your choice, or somebody told you jana padega. Whether you like it or not, you have to attend this course. Choicelessly, I had to come here. You came by choice. We have a choice. Every single moment, how we respond to life, we have a choice. What we may meet right now, we may not have a choice. What I'm going to talk, what you are going to listen, you don't have a choice in that. But how you will respond to that, you have a full choice. You can listen attentively, you can write down, you can say, "Theek hai, I will grasp, I don't need to write." Or you can say that with open eyes, I practice sleeping. Anything. Choice is there. Every single moment, human being has a choice. There is no. That's the privilege of being a human being. I always give this example of the phone. Incoming call is free, no? Like that, life provides challenges and experiences free to us. Nobody has to wait when the next problem will come. It is already there, provided to us free of cost. How do I deal with it? I can respond to a call, I can divert a call, I can cut the call, I can let it be a missed call. Every single moment, I have a choice. And some people are very funny. In between the lecture, when such subtle topics are going on, if somebody calls, they will take also and say, "I'll call later." Arey, why did you take to just say I will call later? Disturbing everybody. But that's their choice they are making. And when we tell in the beginning of the class, take your phone, put it on silent, they choose to believe that their phone is on silent. And when it rings, then scramble here and there, "Arey, where is my phone?" Because they are making choice every single moment. So we have a choice. That's the privilege of a human being. Now, to make a choice, what is required? To make right choices, what is required in life? Intellect, yes, that's the equipment with which we make choice. What else? Right frame of mind, yes. One more thing,
Some knowledge.
knowledge. Intellect must have knowledge and mind must be calm. Then the right choice is made. If intellect is there but without knowledge, decisions will not be based on knowledge, clarity is not there. And if the mind is disturbed, knowledge may be there but mind is disturbed, again can't make the decision. Or the decision will be impulsive, wrong. Arjun had all knowledge, but in the war, what happened to him just before the war had to begin? He started shivering, trembling, he couldn't function, he collapsed because the mind got disturbed. So both are very important. Knowledge of the intellect as well as quietude of the mind. If both are not there, if either one is not there, I can't make the proper choices. If I can't make proper choices, what will happen? My life is determined by my choices. Whatever I achieve in life is achieved only because of my choices. And so very crucial it is that what is my attitude, what is my knowledge, what is my peace of mind. That helps me to determine the choices. So if I look at life as an opportunity, that every experience is an opportunity to evolve, to love, to serve, to know, then I am secure, strong and fearless. But if I look at life as a problem, for so many people, life is just a problem. Every small little thing is a problem. Traveling is a problem, going to work is a problem, doing the work is a problem, meeting people is a problem. Every single thing goes on becoming problem, problem, problem. So it can be a problem or it can be an opportunity. That's our choice. How we choose to live our life, the choices are first made inside, then they manifest outside. And the first type of choice happens because of our attitude. Great people, if you see, they will not consider anything as a problem. For them, it's an opportunity. Worst situation in life they may have be inside, but they will still fight it out. Not think of it as a problem which is when allow it to overwhelm them. That's a strong mind, which has a vision, which wants to achieve, which has that fortitude. That is the standard of life. Dr. Abdul Kalam, his family is such a huge family. He's born to a fisherman, Rameshwaram. If you go to Rameshwaram, now there is a nice Dr. Abdul Kalam memorial. And then further down the road, you go down there, there's a house where Dr. Kalam lived, which has also been converted into a small exhibition. Such humble background. From where? From some corner tip of India. And he wanted to become a pilot. And he worked very hard for it. He used to throw newspapers, study under street lamps. That's how they grew up. But his thinking was, I want to become a pilot. Why he wanted to become a pilot? One teacher of his who used to teach science, one day when that teacher had to teach about flying and aeronautics, one subject, one topic was there. The teacher took all of them to the beach and showed them the birds and then spoke in such inspiring way about flying that Dr. Kalam decided, I want to become a pilot. And he worked hard for it. But he could not clear the vision test. So in Dehradun, he came back after getting rejected. He came back and he was sitting in Rishikesh on the banks of Gangaji. Very sad and dejected he was. Then he went. He saw that there is Divine Life Society. So he went across and he went to the ashram. Swami Shivanji was conducting satsang there in the evening. So he sat, attended the satsang, and every evening Swamiji will meet two people. Devotees come, prostrate, they go, but he will identify any two people who can ask him anything if they want, just to interact with him. That day he picked Dr. Kalam. And he asked him, young man, why are you sad? What happened to you? So he said, I wanted to become a pilot, this happened, I worked so hard, but then I got rejected, now what will I do? Two things that Dr. Kalam was told by Swamiji changed his whole life. First is he quoted a verse from Tirukkural. That's a Tamil composition by a saint called Tiruvalluvar. And he told him the essence of that means defeat the defeatist in you. That there is a defeatist in every one of us which goes on telling us you are not fit enough, you are not good enough, you can't deal with this, you are weak, you can't handle this. There is one defeatist. We go on pulling our confidence down. He said, defeat that defeatist in you. And second, he told him, so what if you could not become a pilot? Life may have greater things in store for you. So look forward. Dr. Kalam has quoted this so many times in his speeches. Especially that line, defeat the defeatist ideal. And he used to change that. Then he made his own line also after that. He said, uh, "You must defeat the problem. Problem should never defeat you." Then he made his own line. So the idea is that when life has thrown so many challenges, disappointing situations, impossible things which we feel we cannot achieve, people who have a strong mind will consider it as an opportunity, not get bogged down, keep working hard, keep striving. That requires that inner strength, which is what this foundation is. So here is a nice video of Guru Dev where he speaks about how this balance is required. This is based on the last verse of the Gita, which says, Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partho Dhanurthara. Tatra Shrihi Vijayo Bhutihi Dhruva Netir Matir Mama. That where there is the spiritual wisdom of of Krishna, and where there is dynamic action of Arjuna, where both these come together, when the individual is rooted in spiritual knowledge and works dynamically in the world, there is true success, happiness, prosperity. So let's see.
Ready to act. Not merely say that only I am ready to act, but tomorrow, next month, procrastination. Yatra partho dhanuttara, tatra there. There where there is Krishna representing the higher values of life, and Arjuna representing the dynamic readiness to act in the world outside. Tatra there. Shri prosperity. Vijaya victory. Bhuti progress. Dhruva niti. Niti policy. Dhruva niti. Firm, steady, progressive, creative policy. Matir Mamatiti is my opinion. Meaning, I am not asking you to accept it. But that is my opinion. Mere readiness physical level with all the modern equipment is not sufficient to create prosperity and joy in the human community. Again, you are all lived through it. The last war clearly shows, Hitler had shown it. That armed to the teeth, a whole nation of determined youngsters, ready to make enormous sacrifice. They could only ultimately break down the moral core of the world and bring down humanity to the present state of valueless existence, confused and confounded. See? Philosophy. Subtle philosophy. And everybody going to the Himalayas sitting in utter meditation. That tragedy of the Hindus in India would happen historically. Everybody sitting back, only saying this all prarabdha. Alexander has come, never mind, prarabdha. And Muslims are come and ruling all together, never mind. That is all happens. Bhagavan will protect you. Buddha, Krishna, Krishna, and in the name of the Krishna, take a little more prasadam. That's purely spiritual. You cannot live in this world. Purely materialistic and secular. There is devastation and disaster. Spiritual values and higher principles in you, and we are all ready to work for the benefit of the country and the society. Cultured people, healthy in their values and ideas, when they work, that nation or community shall have. See the second line? Shri prosperity, vijaya, victory, dhruvi, progress, dhruva, nidhi, steady and righteous policy. These last words of the Bhagavad Gita raises the status of the whole Gita. That it has got a message, political and economic, for the social survival, not of the humans, but of the entire mankind. This is equally applicable in American politics as well as in Russian politics or Chinese politics. It is a beautiful lesson for the leaders of mankind in all climes, all colors and systems.
Right. So how we spoke about the standard of life and the standard of living. This verse is the symbol of that. Who is the standard of life in this chariot? Krishna. And standard of living? Arjuna. That's one way to look at it. Other way is the dynamism to act is Arjuna, and anchoring in values is Krishna. Both are very, very important. Either one without the other, there will be a trouble. So the tragedy of modern life is this: decreasing happiness amidst increasing comforts. Now the rishis, they started observing all that. Even this was there during their times. It's a universal phenomenon. So they started investigating that why is this happening? If external circumstances and situations are becoming better, why is it happening that the man is feeling more sad and low? So we will let them inquire about it. I want two volunteers, one from here, one from here. Quickly. One male person come from here. Yeah, right. Okay. So your exercise is very simple. You have to eat this one. Now you must be thinking, "Arey, I should have also." Take one. You don't have sugar problems now. Eat. Eat it. No. We'll distribute later if it remains. That is not the only one you have to eat. Finish? Over. हो गया खत्म. नहीं खत्म कर रहा है. Exercise is that. Enjoy your eating. Don't worry. There's so many people are looking at me. Okay, so what did you experience? You want to share, any of you?
First, I felt odd eating in front of so many people.
Okay.
Then the sweet was nice.
Mm.
Then I enjoyed the sweet. Then first, of course, I wanted to feel the texture, so I first pulled it out with my hand. Then I changed the mode of eating to speed it up, so I bit it and then put the whole thing into my mouth.
Okay. What was your experience?
How fast will I be able to finish this in front of so many?
Okay. You want to try second one? No? Pakka? It's nice, no?
It's very nice.
Okay, so tell me, what was, when you took the first bite, what was the difference between the first bite and the last bite?
The first bite, I think there are still questions in the mind. What is, what is this about eating sweets in front of so many people.
Mhm.
The last bite was about, oh, this is the last bite, sweet is getting over.
Mm.
Same here. First was like, what must be the reason behind giving this? And second, let me finish it fast.
So actually, you didn't enjoy the sweet, either of you. Your mind was thinking about people. Your mind was thinking about why this is being done. Something fishy. Okay, so taste-wise, you tell me. First bite is more tasty, or the last bite is more tasty?
Last.
Last is more tasty. Possible also. There's no standard answer. It's your experience.
Yeah, for me it was second bite was
Last bite was more tasty. For you?
You also think your last was the best.
Last was more tasty. Both of you, for you, last was more tasty because your mind is more quieter in the sense that now you are focusing on the sweet. So if that external factor is removed, suppose nobody is here and you have to eat a sweet, then which bite will be tastier?
the first one.
First one? Why?
It's a different taste going into the mouth.
Different taste going into the mouth.
No thoughts about people watching.
Correct. So when no thought of people watching are there, when you eat that first bite, that is more tastier than the second one, last one. But why is it so? Leave the people aside. By itself, the taste, why is it so?
Maybe we just get used to it.
Just get used to it. Right. Maybe. Okay. So one round of applause to both of them. You can carry on. Don't worry, for you all this sweet is there. When you go, you can take it. So why did we do this experiment? Because, see, the cause of this paradox is when the decreasing happiness with increasing comfort says, can you guess what is the cause of this paradox?
The mind wants something more, something more. It's used to this.
Gets used to it, it keeps wanting new. So what we say, the law of diminishing returns, that starts. So when there is uncontrolled excessive indulgence in the sense enjoyments, that is one of the main causes why dissipation of mental energy happens. See, when comforts, conveniences, they increase, indulgence also increases. And if that person is not anchored in a strong vision, attitude and values, then the mind gets dissipated. So comforts, conveniences, instead of making our life better, they enslave us. The mind becomes dissipated. Struggle of life, when one has seen through, one becomes strong. But when one doesn't see only any struggle, everything is provided on a platter, that mind will not be very strong. It will be weak. One of the biggest differences in parenting attitude in the past and today is this. We went through a lot of struggle as children. And every parent wants the best for the child, no doubt. But today, many times, there is so much of pampering happening, they don't allow the child to go through a struggle. I know parents who tell me, Swamiji, I have struggled in Mumbai, I have travelled in trains, I have come with such humble backgrounds, but my child has not stepped into a train. I have ensured that he doesn't go through that pain. Are you send him in the train, Baba. He should see what is the struggle of life. Even if you go send him, some people, they've never travelled in, forget local train. From one city to another, they have not travelled in a train. Or take only flights. Even if they go in train, they have not travelled in second sleeper. If you go there, then you will understand what is exactly that life. Comfort, conveniences, no doubt can be given, but give that capacity to face struggles in life. So when uncontrolled, excessive indulgence in sense enjoyments happen, you think about it. When we were children, there was DD1, DD2, and we used to be excited to watch the TV. Chitrahar used to come now, morning, Sunday. Chaya, Ghi, Chitrahar, all that. One will look forward to it. Today, anybody looks forward. One says, what these serials are, what is coming, this, that. How many channels are? Flipping the channels only one gets exhausted. Forget seeing any one program properly. And to maintain that much of content on so many channels, all kinds of substandard stuff keeps coming up sometimes. News channels create fake news. I just unimaginable. That's why the standard of living has gone down. Comforts and convenience have exceeded, no doubt, but standard of living gone. Because that excessive indulgence control is not there. Indulgence is happening, no control is there, there is no inner strength. So that was one reason that they found. So because of that, dissipation of energy and distress is there. This word distress is what you know? It is called bad stress. Stress management also has evolved their own terminologies. No? So they say good stress is called eustress, EUSTRESS. At the end of lesson 1, you will have the opportunity to experience eustress. Then you have to give evaluation. Good stress. What is good stress? That stress which makes you perform. And the bad stress is distress. Either ways it is stress, Baba. It will affect you. It's like saying good poison, bad poison. So, distress happens to us when the dissipation of mental energy happens. And dissipation of mental energy happens because of uncontrolled indulgence, comforts. Gurudev's very beautiful quote is, comfort comes as a guest, stays on to become the host, and then completely enslaves us. It comes as a guest. Guest is supposed to be there for some time and go. But this comfort comes as a guest, stays on to become the host, and then kicks the host out. Completely enslaves us. Today morning you must have experienced. When you want to wake up, what does the body say? 10 minutes more. Why this Swamiji has to keep that class at 7:30 on a Saturday morning? They don't sleep, they don't allow people to sleep. So it starts, 10 minutes. And I don't know who is that genius, whoever invented that button called snooze. One of the time management techniques is what? If a person who gets up and wakes up at the same time will never procrastinate in life. You think about it. It's a very interesting study. Person who gets up and wakes up at the same time, meaning when your eyes open, you get up from the bed. Don't say, Swami, my eyes keep opening through the night, I keep using bathroom. I am talking about when you actually wake up from sleep. When you wake up from sleep, having properly slept, what time your eyes open, you just get up. No hitting the snooze button. If you are hitting snooze button, there is procrastination in life, 100%. You think about it. Somebody has done a fantastic research. So the idea is that comfort comes as a guest. It starts with slow, little bit only, thoda sa. And that this attitude is what makes us compromise in other things also. Little bribe I can take, who cares? Chalta hai thoda, so this is normal in today's life. But it never stops there. Once it starts, no, it keeps on increasing. Vaman avatar, no, it is like that. You start with small and then keep growing. Somebody said, I have never taken a bribe in my life. Why? Because nobody offered it to me. If somebody had offered him, that guy would have taken and it would have started like that. So comfort is like that. So one of the reasons they found that why there is dissipate, why the human being is not able to live and face the challenges of life, because the mind is weak. Why is the mind become weak? Uncontrolled indulgence. No tapas in life. Austerity is not there. Self-control not there. So this is the reason you ate the sweet. The first helping of the sweet is enjoyable. Second is less enjoyable. Third is lesser. And so the law of diminishing return functions. In every indulgence it happens like that. And when this increases, no, suppose you had eaten 10 sweets, then what would happen? Sugar level will go up so much, unhealthy in life, in body. Now imagine one bottle of Coke we drink. How many spoons of sugar inside that? One shot. And people to drink full. No sip, no stopping also sometimes in between, especially in hot summer. More craving happens. That is the strange thing. Normal water will quench the thirst, but this cool drink will not quench the thirst. It will only feel cool, that's all. So the law of diminishing return starts working, and when the indulgence goes beyond a certain limit, it is unhealthy also. Nowadays, what is, when people want to celebrate, what do? A strange thing. They practice equanimity. In good times, when successful they are, when they want to celebrate also, they drink alcohol. In bad times, when they are in depression, then also they drink alcohol. And in normal times also, they drink as though it is some air that you have to breathe. So drink. Before, during, after, all the time, drink or drink. And some people measure their strength by their capacity, saying, I can drink 10 pegs neat without even shaking like that. What is that? Unhealthy, no? You go beyond the limit. First of all, by itself is not required. Why take it? And the useless logic in that is we should try everything in life once. I say try potassium cyanide also. Young people, they keep telling me that. Because I keep talking on this. Alcohol is such a rampant thing today. Social drink. For what social drink? Destroy your body and life. No, Swamiji, it's good for the heart. There are a lot of things which are very good for the heart. Please do that. Alcohol is not required. Red wine is not required. No, cold countries they require. We are in a tropical climate now. Some logic, something one gives. And how much indulgence, and look at the youth of our country, they are getting affected so badly by that. How many accidents keep happening? New Year time you see, Baapre. Is that a way to welcome New Year? 31st night, drink and then fall somewhere. And for that pay thousands of rupees and go to some hotel. For what? The twisted value sometimes one has. I'm not against celebration. Whoever wants to celebrate, celebrate. But unhealthy when it is, one should have that strength to say no. That is mental strength. Otherwise, indulgence has made our life mind so weak. So they found that this is one of the causes, that mind is uncontrollably indulging and there is no inner strength left after that. So what is the solution that they found? Basic regulations of self-restraint and discipline to gain more happiness, enduring happiness. Any success if I want, in any field, there has to be some discipline and self-restraint. It is not possible to succeed in life otherwise. Even if I want to crack an entrance exam, get a job, or start something new as a startup, anything. Self restraint has to be there. I cannot do whatever I feel like doing. Because till the boundaries are not set, the mind will just be dissipated. Once the boundaries are set, the mind knows the energies get channelized, focused, harnessed. Then one can work within that. Otherwise, it just spread all over. So generally, we think that self-restraint, self-control is very restrictive, and we are free bird. We don't like to live in this type of restriction. What spirituality is putting so much of restriction on all of us? It is not putting any restriction. It is only guiding the potential. That's why the attitude it is. Attitude is it is restriction. Then I will fight against it. But attitude is it's a guiding. It's a channel which will help me to channelize my potential. You can say the banks of a river are a restriction on the river. Remove the banks. Or you can say that the banks of the river guide the flow of the river, and finally the river reaches the ocean. If you remove the banks of the river, what will happen? It will just get absorbed in the earth, it will just spread out everywhere, finished, over. That's our attitude. If we come to spiritual life, one can say that I have come here to guide my potential to rise higher in life. Or I can say, no, who are you to tell me? What is the scripture telling me that live in self-control? I will eat whatever I want. I will drink whatever I want. I will do whatever I want. The attitude only is different. So the solution is what the master suggested is control the mind, control the indulgence. So when life is a series of experiences, the experience is between the subject and the object. Subject contacts the object and then experience happens. If you are seeing this, you are the subject, this is the object. When you are seeing this, the connection of the subject to the object, then the knowledge is rising. So that's the experience you are having. Every experience has two, subject, object, and their connection brings the experience. Now in both these, which is more important? Subject or the object? Now both are required for an experience, there's no doubt, but amongst both these, who is more important? Subject is more important. But what we are doing today is trying to change the object. Even in a relationship, what we try to do, change the opposite person. Not me. You have to change. Object. Maybe object requires a change, maybe things in the world need to change, no denial of that. But first, what has to change is subject. Because my relationship with that object gives me that experience. Same object, different people will have different experience or not. In the same class today, so many of you are sitting, each of you will receive it in your own ways. Experience of each one is unique to them because of their perception, their own inner makeup. So this subject of ours, meaning the I, there are senses, there is mind, there is intellect. As we go along, we will learn more about it. But at the moment, because we are on indulgence topic, the course also is slowly introducing us to the subject. So the senses that we have, how many senses we have? Senses of knowledge. 5? Sure? You are right. Seeing, hearing, tasting, smelling, touching. These are our 5 sense faculties with which we contact the world outside. Now the experience of the world will depend on our sense faculties first and foremost. If my eyes are proper, I can see properly. If my eyes have a defect, I won't be able to see properly. Same way with the other senses. If I have fever, I can't taste the food properly. No taste is there. When that fever goes, then taste comes back to normal. So my experience of the world depends on my faculties first, senses. Now with these senses, if I overindulge, senses get dissipated. And when senses get dissipated, through that the mind also gets dissipated. So the natural tendency of the senses is to be extrovert, to see, hear, taste, smell, touch. We want new experiences, which is nothing wrong in it. But when we become addicted to that, when we lose self-control, and we just go on indulging unrestricted, then one also becomes intoxicated with the joy arising out of it. Then one demands it. Simple example. When we get up in the morning, many people require some tea or coffee. And if that tea or coffee is not there, what happens? Headache happens sometimes, or one feels incomplete. Maja nahi aaya. One cup of chai, early morning chai has to be there. Over a period of time, because I have drunk that tea every day, now I got attached to that. I have to have it. So that's what happens. One gets attached to that, then the indulgence also increases. And what happens then? Health suffers, many things happen. So there is nothing wrong in enjoying. We will see as we go along in the course, moderate enjoyment, there is no problem. But when the senses get attached and when there is unrestrained enjoyment, so one cup of tea, very good, no problem. But some people are so addicted, every 2 hours they need a tea, coffee. So one chocolate when we were children is called coffee break. That coffee flavored chocolate it is. Keep eating. So one needs coffee, one needs tea through the day, 7, 8 cups, just like that. Then that is uncontrolled. That is called licentious enjoyment. So there is enjoyment with freedom, there is enjoyment with licentiousness. See, when we say self-control, no, what comes to our mind is very rigid, very strict, no enjoyment, and it's very hard life. Self-control doesn't mean only that. That is, if one wants to do it austere, in an austere way, that is separate. But self-control means enjoyment with discipline. Don't forget that. Otherwise, one thinks that self-control is very painful. It is regulating the enjoyment. Like the banks of the river we spoke. The river is still flowing. Enjoyment is still there in life, but controlled. If I go to a wedding, I take what I like. Limited, whatever I like, enjoy, and I come back. Just because there are all counters of all possible food, now I can't graze from left to right in every counter. Chaat is also there, and Chinese is also there, and Punjabi is also there, and South Indian also there, and pizza fellow also is there, and everybody is there. So what will I do? Can I keep on eating everything? No. I can choose what I want, regulate the enjoyment, eat it. So that is self-control, where I enjoy but in control. Self-control doesn't mean that so much is there, so I just take one glass of water and come back. That nobody is saying that, but many times one thinks like that. Spiritualizing self-control, not practical. It is saying regulate the enjoyment. Don't be licentious. Licentious means no control at all. Just some people are like that. Full day they will not eat because they know that tonight is a wedding. दबा के खाएंगे. Because actually, if you see the law of diminishing return when it functions, after first few morsels of food that one has eaten, one is not even tasting properly because law of diminishing return has started. You should have eaten happily morning breakfast, afternoon lunch, evening snack, controlled it is, no? And night dinner also, you would have enjoyed properly. Who rather than deprive yourself and then eat in the night? How much can I enjoy in that? Practically also, the enjoyment is much lesser in that compared to through the day if I have eaten. No, Swamiji, you don't know. Some of these weddings are like lavish. Okay, try it. Licentiousness has its own consequence. So freedom is our nature. And when we talk about self-control, that's why we don't want any shackles on us, because freedom is our true nature. So we revolt against any injunctions, any precepts, anybody telling us, live in control, don't indulge over, excessively. Mind naturally revolts any idea of self-control because it doesn't understand the beauty of self-control, and it has a lot of wrong notions. It means self-control is equal to denial. For the mind, that's the equation. Self-control is equal to denial. But self-control is not equal to denial. Self-control is equal to regulated enjoyment. If that equation is there in our mind, why will we not live in control? Think about it. If control is not there, what will be our situation? Suppose we control the volume of the mic now and this sound. Suppose we did not control it, what would happen? Will we be able to sit here for even a second? If it is blasting noise inside this room, what will we do? Run from here. Because it is controlled and regulated, we are able to experience or not. In life, everything is like that. If I am able to control and regulate, whether it is indulgence in sense enjoyments, or whether it is love and relationships, or it is knowledge, or it is spiritual practice, whatever it is, exercise, watching TV, whatever it is. If it is regulated, beautifully it will flow. Life is meant like that. But if it is not regulated, one will just dissipate oneself. That is licentiousness. So there's a difference between this freedom and licentiousness. Freedom is essentially built on intelligent self-restraint and discipline. Control brings freedom. Seems contradictory, no? But that is a fact. Control brings freedom. Control, in the sense, regulation, self-restraint, discipline, that brings the freedom. Example given is the traffic lights. Most risky time to drive is when? Early morning and in the night. No? Many times signal is on, but our mindset says 11 baje ke baad rules don't apply. Where is it written? I don't know. Is it written anywhere? Signal is still on. But nobody is on the road, so chalo. And maximum accidents happen there because nobody is following those. If it is followed, it will not happen. Same way, civil laws, they protect citizens' freedom. If one says, no, law should not be there, this is a restraint on us, then licentious behavior, society will perish. So, freedom minus self-restraint is equal to licentiousness. When there is no self-restraint, then that freedom is not freedom, it is licentiousness only. So these two equations we should remember. Equation number 1, self-restraint is equal to regulated enjoyment. Self-restraint not equal to denial. And this one is freedom minus self-restraint is equal to licentiousness. Or licentiously one just behaves whichever way one wants. So that is called disciplined enjoyment. Intelligent regulation of sense enjoyments, that lends a charm and significance to it. Otherwise it can even become mechanical. That same enjoyment beyond a point loses its entire charm. Experience all gone, mechanical. As we said, it may even ruin the health and all this. So this is the difference between freedom and licentiousness. In freedom there is healthy enjoyment, in licentiousness there is slavery to the senses. In freedom there is sensitizing of the senses. When I eat in limited quantity, when I listen to music in a proper self-controlled way, my capacities increase, my senses become more sensitized. But when I don't enjoy in certain control, I just indulge in excessive thing, that sensitivity of the senses also goes away. No more one is able to understand the subtleties. It becomes more gross. So dissipation of senses happens in licentiousness. There is a lot of satisfaction in freedom, but in licentiousness, in spite of uncontrolled indulgence, there is still a craving. That's the paradox. And the world will always tell us to do what? To be licentiousness, to do licentious behavior only. They are not going to say, no, you should live in self-control. From a simple packet of chips it starts. Nobody can eat just one. Alright? One itself is difficult. You should not eat one full packet. So much of oil. Nobody can eat just one. You go on eating. World will tell you or what? That let live in self-control. The world it will not. Their economics will not work if they tell us to live in self-control. Shastra will tell us live in self-control. That's good for us. So craving increases in licentiousness. Conservation of energy happens in freedom. Exhaustion and fatigue happens in licentiousness. So the first topic in our chapter is freedom and licentiousness. First chapter is freedom and licentiousness. This basic difference, if I understand, my life foundation will be strong. See, self-control is a foundation. If self-control is not there in life, forget building any edifice. It is just not possible. In in the Dasha avatar of Bhagwan, the second avatar of Bhagwan is what? Vishnu Bhagwan's 10 avatars. Many avatars he has taken, but 10 are popular. Which is the second avatar? Anybody knows? Kurma avatar. Varaha is the third. Matsya is the first, then Kurma. Kurma avatar, Bhagwan takes the form of a tortoise, and this Samudra Manthan is happening. Churning of the ocean is happening with a mountain in between. Devatas and Asuras, and they are churning. As soon as they start the churning, what happens? That whole mountain collapses. It just sinks into the ocean. So Bhagwan takes the Kurma avatar, he comes into the ocean bed, goes below the mountain and supports the mountain on his back. And then the mountain is churned. For us it's a story, but there is a symbolic, also of a symbolic fact that if I want to have Amrit, if I want to be successful, tortoise is a symbol of self-control. The tortoise in the Gita, it is said, Yatha Kurmonganiva Sarvasha. So, like the Kurma, like the tortoise, walks beautifully, gently, slowly. Very nice it is when you watch a tortoise walk. 4 limbs, 1 head, 1 tail, 6 nose. Slowly, slowly, gently it moves. If it senses any danger, if the tortoise is there and you put some grains of sand here, that much sensitivity is that when it sees any danger, it will immediately withdraw all the limbs and stay inside the shell. And after some time, when everything is fine, again it comes out, again it starts walking. So that tortoise is a symbol of self-control. That engage in senses and enjoyments which are not harmful and in control. If there is some harm, withdraw. So self-control is the first aspect. Hence, Gurudev, he used to say a very nice line. Life is a death-long discipline. Full life, self-control has to last. Life is a death-long discipline. Because these are fundamentals of life. Till I don't realize the state of fulfillment, it's a death-long discipline. Okay, so what do you see here? 3 mobiles. Different screen size, wonderful. So many apps are there, all that proper, right? Now I'm asking you simple questions. Do you close your apps all the time to save the battery? Do you charge your phone overnight? What is the best percentage to charge the battery? How much percentage you should have, then the battery life will be optimal and work for a long time? 90%. No idea. Okay, let us see. Is your screen brightness on maximum? No. Are your Bluetooth and Wi-Fi on always? No. Really? Wonderful. Conserve the battery. If you close your apps to save the battery, that is a wrong practice. Because the phones nowadays are built to put the apps in a sleep mode when you are not using them. So they use lesser battery. If you close them, to open it, it takes more battery. If you charge the phone overnight, full night, battery life will go down. What is the best percentage to have? Only 65 to 75. To that much percentage, you must have the phone battery. So how to keep that phone battery on that much? Keep charging the battery for shorter durations through the day. Just like our body, keep eating food every 3 hours. Thoda, thoda, thoda. It's like that. Screen brightness, if you put on the maximum, gone, battery life gone. Bluetooth and Wi-Fi on always, battery life reduces. Why am I telling you all this? Because when a phone comes, with that manual also comes. We take the phone, take the charger, take everything, and with the manual, that fantastic packaging which is there, throw it in the dustbin. Who reads the manual? Anybody reads? Nowadays, manual comes with everything. No? Ferrero Rocher chocolate also manual comes. How to eat that chocolate? But manual who reads? Half the time one doesn't read. Now imagine if I don't read a manual of the phone, I don't know the secrets of this phone. I have misunderstanding, wrong notions in my mind, and I live life with those, not even harnessing the potential of this equipment. This phone is just one ordinary equipment. Which is the most sophisticated equipment in the whole world? Is human mind. So that human body and human mind, what all features it has, do we know? We have no idea. Even in our own phone, a lot of people have iPhone XR, iPhone XS. What do they use it for? Phone call. What else you will to use it? Maximum thought about WhatsApp and social media. But that phone has so many other features. No, we take photograph. Okay. So many other things that phone can do. But that is not tapped at all. Because one has not even explored the manual, one has not even done some browsing on the net to find out what all this iPhone can do, what are good practices for it, what are harmful practices, no idea. Now imagine for the mind, we can make ourselves or we can mar ourselves with this powerful equipment that we have. So this foundation course is to get a little glimpse into what are the basic things that we require in our life. And this is also a foundation to study the deeper aspects of the scriptures. Many people want to study the Bhagavad Gita because wonderful, lot of interest is there in it. It's a good thing. But to benefit from the Bhagavad Gita properly, my foundation concepts must be very clear. So in life also, to achieve great things, I must have a good foundation. Spiritual life also, if I want to progress, I must have a good foundation. So this is what it is. The foundation has to be strong. I'm going to end with this beautiful video which speaks about how people generally live their life.
It is not death most people are afraid of. It is getting to the end of life only to realize that you never truly lived. There was a study done, a hospital study, on 100 elderly people facing death close to their last breath. They were asked to reflect about their life's biggest regret. Nearly all of them said they regretted not the things they did, but the things they didn't do. The risks they never took, the dreams they didn't pursue. I ask you, will your last words be, if only I had, hey, you, wake up. Why do you exist? Life is not meant to simply work, wait for the weekend, and pay rent. No, I don't know much, but I know this. Every person on this earth has a gift. And I apologize to the black community, but I can no longer pretend. Martin Luther King, that man never had a dream. That dream had him. See, people don't choose dreams. Dreams choose them. So the question I'm getting to is, do you have the courage to grab the dream that picked you, that befits you and grips you? Or will you let it get away and slip through? You know, I learned a fact about airplanes the other day. Now, this was so surprising. See, I was talking to a pilot, and he told me that many of his passengers think planes are dangerous to fly in. But he said, actually, it is a lot more dangerous for a plane to stay on the ground. I said, what? Like, how does that sound? Well, he said because on the ground, the plane starts to rust, malfunction, and wear much faster than it ever would if it was in the air. As I walked away, I thought, yeah, makes total sense. Because planes were built to live in the skies. And every person was built to live out the dream they have inside. So it is perhaps the saddest loss to live a life on the ground without ever taking off. See, most of us are afraid of the thief that comes in the night to steal all of our things. But there is a thief in your mind who is after your dreams. His name is doubt. If you see him, call the cops and keep him away from the kids, because he is wanted for murder, for he has killed more dreams than failure ever did. He wears many disguises, and like a virus will leave you blinded, divided, and turn you into a kinda. See, kinda is lethal. You know what kinda is. It's a lot of kinda people. You kinda want a career change. You kinda want to get straight A's. You kinda want to get in shape. Simple math, no numbers to crunch. If you kinda want something, then you will kinda get the results you want. What is your dream? What ignites that spark? You can't kinda want that. You gotta want it with every part of your whole heart. Will you struggle? Yeah, you will struggle. No way around it. You will fall many times, but who's counting? Just remember, there's no such thing as a smooth mountain. If you want to make it to the top, then there are sharp ridges that must be stepped over. There will be times you get stressed and things you get depressed over. But let me tell you something. Steven Spielberg was rejected from film school 3 times. 3 times, but he kept going. The television execs fired Oprah, said she wasn't fit for TV, but she kept going. Critics told Beyonce that she couldn't sing. She went through depression, but she kept going. Struggle and criticisms are prerequisites for greatness. That is the law of this universe, and no one escapes it. Because pain is life, but you can choose what type. Either the pain on the road to success, or the pain of being haunted with regret. You want my advice? Don't think twice. We have been given a gift that we call life, so don't blow it. You are not defined by your past. Instead, you are born anew in each moment. So own it now. Sometimes you gotta leap and grow your wings on the way down. You better get the shot off before the clock runs out, because ain't no overtime in life, no do-over. And I know I sound like I'm preaching or speaking with force, but if you don't use your gift, then you sell not only yourself, but the whole world. Sure. So what invention do you have buried in your mind? What idea, what cure, what skill do you have inside to bring out to this universe? Uni meaning one, verse meaning song. You have a part to play in this song. So grab that microphone and be brave. Sing your heart out on life stage. You cannot go back and make a brand new beginning, but you can start now and make a brand new ending.
It's a very nice video about manifesting one's own dreams. That's what life is meant for, not to live in regret. And if I want to manifest the dream, if I want the dream to hold me, then I need to regulate my mind. Otherwise, in indulgence, we just pass, the whole life goes away. So the regret is not what one did, the regret is what one did do. So if I did not live in self-control, the joy of that I'm missing out. Indulgence is very common, very ordinary. And hence, the choice we have every single moment. Animals, they choose only with instinct. Animals don't choose intelligently. Human beings choose intelligently. And animals cannot control what they are pre-programmed with. There cannot be a tiger who is a vegetarian or a cow which is eating meat. But human beings can change. That freedom we have. And that is the freedom that we have to recognize to make the right choices. And hence, the scriptures are the manuals. Like the phone has manuals, the scriptures are the manuals. More about this we will continue in our next session. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Guru Namah Hari Om